So, okay, folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on where you are joining us from. Today is Friday and is the 12th day of the 5th month, AD 2023, with the time exactly 10:30, 33 here in Liberia, Monrovia to be specific. Yes, welcome to yet another edition of the Costa Morning Show. I'm pretty seated here this morning, bringing you an exclusive interview with Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. He's here with us this morning, and we'll be talking about his trip there in the United States of America and some other political issues. So just sit back and relax because it's going to be a very fascinating discussion this morning as we dive into politics this morning. So good morning, folks. Let me acknowledge our sponsor, Sikamoto. Yep, Sikamoto. They are sole distributor of a lot of good vehicles here in Liberia. So if you are trying to take vehicle on a CP level, you can go to the Sion Town office and just do business with Sikamoto. And same with also, they are also one of our sponsors here on the Costa Show. So good morning, folks. Welcome. Councillor Tiawan Gongloe is in the United States of America. He was invited by the Friends of Gongloe, PA chapter, hosting the dinner for him, and there'll be some other activities there in America. So let me cross over to the councillor and say, good morning, councillor. Welcome to the Costa Show.
Good morning, and I'm happy to be on the Costa Show again. I've appeared in Liberia a few times. Provided legal services for the show to keep it on. That's something that everybody knows. But the next time you call my name Tiawan Gongloe, please add the C. C is a rank. Okay. Among the Mana people, when you are called C, then you are the first boy. So it's important because I have boys in my family, so I'm the C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tiawan C Gongloe. So we should take note of that. Yeah, but sorry, we wake you up soon in the morning, Council.
No, it's okay. In Liberia, I woke up 2 o'clock in the morning, so I woke up early this morning as well.
Okay, so you are in the United States of America. Tell us, what's the mission there in the U.S.?
I was invited by the Friends of Gongloe, you just said the Philadelphia chapter, to come and speak to some Liberians here who have heard about me. My going around Liberia to over 300 towns really was surprising to a lot of people here because it has never happened before. No politician wanting to be president ever gone to even 50 towns in the history of our country. But I'm an advocate and I look at politics in a different way. That if you want to lead people, you have to go and let them see you. You have to tell them why you want to lead them. You have to give them your message. So I want to all Liberians because I strongly believe that Monrovia is not Liberia. Sanikol is not Liberia. Buchanan is not Liberia. Zuedru is not Liberia. Liberia includes those who live outside the big cities, in the rural areas. It's important to go and see the conditions under which they are living. And sometimes experiencing those conditions as I did. I was walking on monkey bridges. I was crossing in canyons. I was sleeping in all kinds of places. That's where the people have been sleeping. So it really gave me a good knowledge of the current condition of Liberia. And people were fascinated by my journey to power. And they decided to invite me here for me to talk to them, to share my experience with them and all of that.
So both home and abroad, have your message been resonating with those you have interacted with, the common Liberians, those in the diaspora? How their response or responses been like to you?
Beyond my expectation, positive responses from everywhere. When I visited Weah or in Grand Cru or Bokeza in Lofa, or whether it's Herrington in Bapulo County or Wangekor in Kidman, people were telling me, oh, this is the man that our people in America say we should vote for, we should support. Because I came to America and went to 12 states in the United States here. And from the people interacting with me, they got convinced that I am the alternative to state power in Liberia. And they started informing the people. Some even started threatening the people in the villages. One village in Nimba, I went to Nimba in your area, and they said, oh, our party in America say, if we don't vote for him, he will not vote for you, he will not send us any money again. That's the extent to which some people have gone. So also in Liberia, the villages I've gone to, people have been so impressed because when I get through my message, I say, if everyone here believes in what I'm saying, then stand up, and the whole crowd stands up. And they have also been informing the people in America that they've seen a leader to change Liberia's story for the better. Because that's what I keep telling them. I say, look, other people want job to be president. Me, I want to be a project manager for changing Liberia's story for the better, because I strongly believe a better Liberia is possible. And that message resonated. I usually tell them that, look, Liberia is not a naturally poor country. This is a naturally rich country. Plenty of rainfall that we take for granted, water all over the place, unlike many countries I've gone to in Africa. Then the soil is so fertile. You yourself, the plant behind your house, nobody planted it. People just ate it, drop the seed and start growing by itself. That is Liberia's story. Rich, fertile soil. Then under the soil, we got diamond, we got gold, we got NO, we got manganese, we even have silicon. You remember, maybe before you were born, there used to be a glass factory in Ghana's run by a Liberian company. And the sand that they were using to produce the glass were coming from Liberia. We have so much natural resources. We on election day can choose to be poor because we choose people who are not competent and who don't love Liberia, who are selfish and greedy and only care for themselves. Once we stop doing that and start electing the proper people, we will enjoy the wealth that Liberia has, that God has put in Liberia. That is the story, and people think about it. This is true. It's resonating with the people.
Yeah, but Council, how can we know the proper people, as you say? Because everybody that we've been voting, they've been doing the same thing, and all those that are coming to all, they appear the same. So we don't know the rightful person from those that are not in the interest of Liberia. How can we know this man means well for Liberia and this man doesn't mean well for Liberia? For instance, Councillor Gongo is now pushing his agenda for the presidency. We know his track record, but when he take the mantle of authority in our country, everything changed. So how can we tell that this person is different from this person?
Josh, Liberian people have not learned to follow their own wise saying. They say you can apply the new map, show all the old map. On election day, they don't use that. They elect people that they don't know. And then Liberian people can say, me, I can't buy pig in a bag. But on election day, they can be buying pig in a bag. That's what we're going wrong. Look, people don't change easily. There are some point in Liberia when they even become director in the ministry, their old friends at school may not their friends again. They don't eat in the same place, they don't visit them. I'm saying I'm going to be assistant minister or deputy minister. There's a man one time we did legal work for me and my friend Weah, and he just saw him in the street and called him by a nickname. By that time, till I made him man deputy minister. He said, deputy, he said, minister, please. Oh, my friend got so angry. He said, look at the man who used to be helping the other day, performing free legal service for. I just saw the man in the street among people. I want to tease him by his nickname. You can say I'm calling him minister. That's how some people have the arrogance of power. But yeah, me here, Councillor Gongloe, I worked with Emma Sawyer for 4 years. I worked in government for a total of 5 years in my life. I worked at the worst time of our country in the early 1990s as executive assistant to the president. I used to go to Atasha on Cllr Street from Duka. I'm staying at Duka. I go there. I became Solicitor General. I still used to go to Atasha on Cllr Street. You ask the people there today. When I became minister, the Ministry of Labor on UN Drive, I used to come to the Thai shop 6 o'clock, stay there 7:30, I go to my office. My friends remain my friends. Look, I tell you a story. There's a friend of mine, first grade class, mate of mine, called Charlie Tuago. I saw him in Monroe one day. I was in 027 as minister. And I stopped the car. I told my driver, stop the car. I said, Charlie Tuago, you walking the street. He turned, he looked at the car. They started walking. I said, Charlie Tuago, you turned. So I got out and walked. I said, Charlie Tuago is me. He said, my man, if I tell you I didn't hear you, then loud. But every time I hear that call, I turn and look at the car. I see 027. I said, nobody can know me in that kind of car there. Me, Charlie Tuago. So I don't change. I believe that, government office is a platform to transform people's lives. And I've been very critical of my life. So the things that I criticize other people for, I don't do it. I try to show that there's nothing in government that changes people's behavior. People are just who they are. When they get a government position, they reveal themselves. The people who steal in government used to steal before, before getting the power. So nobody can tell me there's nothing in government that makes people to steal. Because I've been deputy minister, I've been working in the president's office, I've been minister, and nothing made me to steal. My parents didn't teach me to steal. I kept the values that my parents taught me. And when I was in school, Father Francis and Father Tipo, powerful Catholic prelates, they really, really helped to shape who I am today. And if I didn't change when I was in my 30s, working with Amos Sawyer, what would make me change today in my 60s?
Okay, so council, let's come now to governance. Let's come to Liberia. Josh Weah and his administration. You've been on their back 24/7. I've been seeing some articles from you in newspaper. People have been writing about you. I've been seeing you on other outlets talking about the ills in society. Let's talk about roles. Previously, let's begin with the issue of roles. You visit the rural area most often, and this government, when they came up, they said they were borrow medicine. That's what Josh Weah, his administration said. Uh, why is it like commuting from one county to another? You've been from Maryland to Grand Gida to Sano County and other places in Lofa County. How is it like?
Terrible. The people in the rural parts of Liberia have been totally neglected. They are not part of the borrow medicine. And that borrow medicine, my people, is just for a few places. So it's for the Robertsfield Road and for Doe community. Go on the Robertsfield Road. The road, because I live on there, I see a part there every day. They off the main roads that have been paved are to big shots home. One to the former vice president and the current president home, that area they out paved. The president pro tem road is paved. Former Minister McGill road is paved. The Minister of Public Works road on that road is paved. But there are so many roads. The road to Tipota House, for example, is not paved. The road to so many people, houses on that road are not paved. They go check it. The roads that are paved on off the main road are roads leading to Big Shot's home. So maybe it's borrow medicine for a few people, less than 1% of the population. But over 99% of the population are living in very terrible shape all over. Look, one example I always like to repeat, because it made me, I could have died. I slept on the highway, on the road. I just got sleeping ladder and started sleeping, and snake could have bitten me. Between Kilipo Kanweke in River G and Gwepo Kanweke, it's a distance of 20 to 30 minutes. Normal time, I know it because I've been on that road since 1979. I finished talking to people in Kilipo Kanweke, which is the home of the former Minister of Justice and the former Dean of Law School, Nimba County, and the former Minister of Justice, the late Cllr. So I sent a motorcyclist ahead and said, I will be meeting the people at 6 o'clock. I gave myself 1 hour thinking that, okay, it's 30 minutes, but maybe the road is bad. My brother, George, when I left, I saw a little bit of mud. I took shovel. I thought I was joking. Oh, we're fixing the road. When we left, 5 minutes ahead, we saw a huge mud with over 20 tankers and trucks stuck in the mud. Some of them said, we've been here for 5 days. I said, how are we going to pass? We had I had a 3-car convoy. One of them, Toyota Land Cruiser, the other one, Toyota Sequoia, and a pickup. So I roll up my trousers across the mud, barefooted across the mud. I went across the mud. I thought that by 7 o'clock or so, my cars will be up. Normally, I go to bed at 9 o'clock, and I wake up 2 o'clock every day. By 9:30, I don't know how I managed to just, I fell asleep. And the way I know is that 12:30 in the night, somebody on my delegation came and woke me and said, "Oh, Councillor, the cars have finally passed the mud." Then I woke up, I saw myself lying on the ground. I thought I was in my bed. So that's how bad the road is. Look, and we left the trucks behind. My driver was so good, I don't know how they managed, but we left the trucks behind because the trucks were so heavy they couldn't get through the mud. Then we came ahead, we saw another mud. Then we came ahead, we saw another mud. All through my travel in southeastern Liberia, the worst roads in the country are in southeastern Liberia. Even on the Grand Jida side, as soon as you leave Tapeta, you get on bad road, all the way, to town, everywhere. So when I got to Puchiti Amatan where I slept, because I couldn't go, the mud was ahead. I started talking to people and said, the president from southeastern Liberia, one young man told me, I'm not disrespecting you. Shut up. The whole government is from southeastern Liberia. The minister of finance is from here. The central bank governor is from here. He started naming all. He named over 10 top officials of government from southeastern Liberia. And the people are just wicked. They don't like us. So look at the kind of condition we're living under. So that bar road medicine is a story for a few people in Monrovia, for Dole community, and for Robertson Highway, and part of Johnsonville, where the past government started rule, and that is still being done. But for Liberia, the whole country, even Ellen who built road from Coca-Cola factory to Ganta, did not concept barrow medicine. First time she built road from Monrovia through Robertsfield to Grand Basak and to Buchanan. She didn't concept barrow medicine because if you cover two or three counties, about 15 counties, you haven't done anything. So, and I've heard CDC saying, the leaders of CDC saying, "Oh, we promised you people, but we didn't fulfill our promises. So you all just give us second term." I said, but this defies human logic. If you engage a woman to marry, at the time you can do all the things for the woman. You buy her all the gifts, you do everything, you feel well, you buy her clothes, you do everything. You can't say, when I marry you, then I'll do all the things I promised. The first time was the time to impress the Liberian people. The first time they took it to impress themselves. The president built for the 7-story building opposite Baptist Seminary. All of the bishops and government built big buildings in the communities they are living in, to the extent that in the morning, on Saturday, the people go beg them for corporation, all that, and they enjoy the abject poverty the people are living under. Now they are saying it is in the second term that will elevate you people from poverty, will take you from poverty. But this time that was to take ourselves from poverty. People should not believe that.
Yeah, but they are coming with the message again that they says here wasn't enough. What we promised our Liberian people, we haven't done much. So you should give us another 6 years to complete what we have started. For instance, we promised the coastal highway, even though some part of it is ongoing or some part of it has started already, but we need this other 6 years to complete that project. We need a 6 year to do the Bali Island like we promised. We need a 6 year to bring the health factory that we promised. We need a 6 year to do other projects that we promised that we couldn't complete in the previous 6 years. Now we are headed to election, Councillor Gongloe. But before that, if I may ask you, if you were to grade the Weah-led administration for the past 5 years and a half, what will your grade mark be from 1 to 100?
You don't need to. I'm a teacher. They're below 50. And I was saying in Philadelphia, I will ask that question. Philadelphia is in Grand Cru. It's right after Bois Jigen. And I will ask, in Grand Cru is where the president comes from. And I said, maybe we'll grade them 50, 60. And one young man said, no. It can't be 60. It has to be below 50 because when you grade people below 50, I don't care how you run it up, it can't reach 70. There's no way to run it up, because the grade is so bad. So I took it from there. I said, you live and say, yeah, I can't grade up for 35%. I said, okay, I will say below 50. So they are below 50. And they themselves, being honest to themselves, we agree with that. And that's why they are finding the excuses now. You see, first they were saying, oh, borrow medicine. They even say, oh, look at building road in Gongloe County and from Uganda to Cllr. Go there now. Now we borrowed there because they started building a road on promise, false promise to the Chinese that will pay them. The old people, I've heard $13 million. They took all their equipment and left. So that road construction is not going on. Now, you see, this is line number one that y'all gave us chance. They knew the problem. They knew the problem of governance. Some of them were in government, and they promised the people that they are coming to lift them up from poverty. They knew all the conditions, and they made definite promises to the people. So now that they didn't know, the president himself was in the Senate working on budget. He knew all of the difficulties, and he made promise that these are the things that he will do in the first 6 years. He will take people out of poverty. He will provide 1 million jobs. All of these statements were made. Now, if you want to tell the Liberian people you did not know, then you are showing that you were ignorant. You didn't know. If you didn't know and you made false promises, why should we now trust you that this time your promises will be correct? Our Liberian people can say first food are food, another food, but the second food are real food. Because when they fool you the second time and you know that you are being fooled, and then you go the first time and you know you are being fooled, and you allow yourself to be fooled the second time, then you are a real fool. So Liberian people should not allow themselves to be the real fool. They lied to us the first time. Look, I like if you have Takun J music played because it can really stimulate me. The people lie to us. They lie to us that the best music to describe.
Yeah, but Takun J supporting the men council, so I don't know. The man that sang the song, he's not in he's not with them and enjoying. So I don't know the message that he was preaching back then. He's not enjoying, and he has forgotten the song that he sang.
No, the only good thing is he's not in authority to stop the song from being played. They say somebody was an advocate before and he wrote a book. When he became president, he couldn't follow what he said. He banned the book in his country. So a good Takun J is not president to say, the music is banned. I talked to him. He's my client. When he falls in trouble, he can come to me as a human rights lawyer. So I can tease him all the time. I say, Takun, I love your music. Your music is more valuable under this administration than under any other administration. Right on Cllr Street, I stop by him and we talk. He say, hey, Papi, I say, you made a music that fits this government and now you're supporting this party. That's a contradiction. You're young to do that.
Yeah, so
I call him my nephew because he's fine.
There's a song that the council is talking about. He wants us to drop this song for him.
Stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why the government should lie?
Okay, so why the government should lie? The part of it, council, he said we trusted you, that why we voted you. This man is from the slum. Some say he's from Gibraltar. Some say he's from West Point. Some say he's from Nuku Town. Is President Weah living that life like somebody that is from the slum? We see condominiums. We see him breaking down his 9th Street house and making and rebuilding it as a mansion. Is he living that life like somebody that is from the slum?
After that song, we don't even need to continue this interview because it summarizes everything that is on my mind. Look, right now, I talk to people in the street. Kobo on Ashman Street, where the younger boys sell right there, is now 400 Liberian dollars, and many people can't afford it. They can do what they call sepe. 3-4 person get together to buy Kobo now, and they're not paying the Kobo enough for the money. They are saying we are all selling at the end of the day. We'll find your money and pay you, boy. Rob your money, credit or Kobo. So they are doing sepe. That's how bad the country has gone. You know, people are begging for copper rice. People are begging for Kobo. They're not begging for people to buy them to buy them zinc or bag of cement anymore. People are begging for copper rice. People are begging for money to pay their children way to go to school. That's what we experience every day. And now, in their ignorance and also arrogance, because they live in this big life and they don't want to listen to people, they think we say on the radio, they sense inside, they don't take it to help themselves. They say, oh, they're opposition. So they are not changing. Look what they are doing now. And they are doing shameful things. If this government said they borrow medicine, how come the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the head of the other branch of government, went to Ivory Coast to get to people Sadoka in order to register to vote? Because if you are going on the road from Monrovia, passing through Nimba, Grangida, to go to Plibo Sadoka, he will have been stuck on the highway and there no helicopter to take him. Then he will not have registered to vote. He will have been disqualified from even participating because he will not have been a registered voter to even vote for himself. So he took the shortcut. How many Liberians can afford to pass through Ivory Coast to go to Maryland, where he comes from? You see that kind of shameful thing? Very disgraceful. He should have even taken the plane that goes to every week. But for him to actually pass through Ivory Coast to go to his home, I found that very, very shameful and disgraceful. And only a shameless person can do that kind of. Just for that alone, the poor people said, okay, should not vote for him. Because power is to improve the general condition of the people. Look at, America, somebody sent me the photo of Abache vehicle somewhere on the highway in Sino County, stuck in the mud, because the road is bad. Now, because everybody cried down buffer chamber, so he wanted to go by road. And whichever road you take, whether you take Buchanan Road, you're in the mud. You take Nimba Road, you're in the mud. So now he's in the mud going. He may reach. If he doesn't, he will have to park his car to take motorbike to reach Grand Crew, where he's going to register the food. So they tell people in Monrovia they are borrowing medicine, but the reality in rural areas shows that the people are being recklessly neglected and abandoned.
Yeah, but council, they see Abachi were her on tape lambasting the U.S. ambassador for statement made that our health facilities, there are a lot of things lacking when it comes to health in our country. But they see Abachi said that the money that they are receiving at the Senate isn't that much enough, and the money, there are a lot of things that they are doing with the money. They are paying school fees, they are paying hospitals, they are paying hotels, they are paying a lot of other things for the Liberian people. Let's look at the message from the U.S. ambassador. How well do you look at it? Is it a reality when it comes to Liberia?
It is a reality. I'm the only politician in Liberia who can agree or disagree with it, because I'm the only one who has traveled everywhere that the ambassador has traveled to. I went everywhere. In fact, somewhere, I think some part of Southeast, our convoy passed by each other. So the ambassador convoy, you were going with a long convoy of white Toyota Land Cruiser Jeeps. I confirm everything he said. The road condition, the health condition, the school condition. Look, there are many towns in the rural area where there are no schools, and in the areas where there are schools, the schools are empty because no teacher. Where you got teachers, they call them volunteer teachers. Sometimes out of 8 teachers, 2 or 3 are on government payroll, and the rest are volunteer teachers because the people want their children to go to school, and the people in the town will start collecting money and paying those people. When they don't pay them, when they find jobs somewhere, they leave. So what the ambassador was saying is true, right from Monrovia. My brother, go to JFK today. You go to JFK, when they examine you, they bring your lab test, the doctor will give prescription. Go to Lucky Pharmacy. If JFK, which is the biggest government hospital, number 1 hospital in Liberia, has no pharmacy inside where they can give you drugs, then is it the hospital in Kepamos, that you expect to see drugs, J.J. Dawson Hospital, or the one in Bokesa, or the one in Honiahu, or the one in Yalamanahu, in Lofa, or the one in Bojezieta, in Riverside. These are remote areas. I'm talking about the people are living like they're in the 18th century. Totally abandoned. When you leave Monrovia, when you leave Buchanan, you enter a different world. When you leave Shasta City, you enter a different world. You leave Zwetu, you enter a different world. But these people have not been going around. They visited, they travel out of the country more than they travel internally. Now, only in 2021, President George said he was taking a nationwide tour. And then what else? Nothing. It's terrible. They don't care about the people. They only care about themselves. His resort, Jamaica, is more developed than anywhere in Liberia. They only think about themselves. That level of selfishness is sufficient for Liberians not to be second food, to be real food. They can't fool us the second time. No, it's not possible. The harsh reality will make the Liberian poor. In fact, right now, if you do a poll in southeastern Liberia, I might get more people on my side than George Weah because the people are so angry. They're so angry. They told me that everywhere I went in the Crew area, I went in the Stapo area, I went in the Crown area, I went in the Gribble area, and they were all over Liberia. The places I really got endorsements were in Grand Crew, were in southeastern Liberia, especially Grand Crew. I even slept in City Mayor home in Grand Crew. My program in Sasstown was organized by the City Mayor of Sasstown, the president's home. That's how angry the people are. And it was live. It was live. People were clapping for me continuously. Then when I got to ITI, I listened to radio. Gongloe and the who I am, I said, why is this himself? Because the thing was not just recorded, it was live. Everybody saw it in the whole world. And I entered Shasta in the night, and the city mayor came and said, oh, Council, let me go and set the place up. He took 30 minutes, set it up. Then he came for me. He made sure there was sound system. I spoke on loudspeaker. He gave me the cola I ate. There's a tradition in Southeastern Liberia. They give you cola with pepper and salt. Give me the cola and pepper and salt I ate. And he gave me the water I drank. And then he said, when we give you water, when we give you cola, then the message you have, you deliver it. And so I got up and delivered my message, and people are happy. I would tell people in the interior that when I become president, all your children will go to school free of charge from kindergarten to 12th grade, and they will not clap. When I say all pregnant women, all children below the age of 5, and all people 65 years old, all will go to government hospital and clinic free of charge. When I say myself as president, I'll be going to government hospital. So I'll make a surprise visit to government hospital and say, I came for a checkup. If nothing there, I will fire the president and make sure that our government hospital and clinics work. When I say that I will restore polywater yards in all of the 15 countries so that the roads can be maintained so we can have bad roads. When I say that we'll mechanize rice farming by bringing machines in the country so that we can produce big rice farm, the Kavala, the Firestone, the other, how the people will not be happy. These are things that are confronting them. And as a young man who grew up in the interior, I know the problem. I've lived through it. Cutlasses and hoe, for example, cannot feed Liberia anymore. But Liberia has a rich soil, and if government help the farmers to organize agriculture so well, Liberia could become a rice exporter. I see the dream. I see the possibility. I've talked to experts. It is very much possible. So when I tell the police story, I say, then they say, then price of rice will come down. I said, the only way for price of rice to come down is to grow rice. My message is very clear to the people. I said, I will open free trade schools in 15 counties for your children to learn trade and not to just be riding motorbike. They can be happy.
Yeah, so beginning with that, what platform are you taking to the people? Because you have outlined some of the ills in society, the Joshua government, some of the things that they are doing wrong and blah, blah, blah. But what platform are you taking to the Liberian people to make them to elect you as the next president of the Republic of Liberia?
So that's why I say, I just told you some of it. Number one, I said there has to be a rule of law. Police must work, the code must work with integrity and will protect the code. Anybody under my government, you minister, you can't say that my interest there, I will fire you immediately. And if you don't take care, you might even go to jail for obstruction of government function. Right? And then and we'll have an executive order on that to protect the police and the judiciary in the performance of their duties. So that when police doesn't work well, when somebody is killed, somebody is beaten, the report will come out. These days, police carry an investigation. We don't know what happened, and people start speculating. Look at Gloria Musu start daughter business. The 10-year run, they doing all kind of suspicion on it. Amendment, the drug issue, the gun issue, all the things. So, in our executive order, I'll put our Liberian people all over Liberia have a right to videotape police when police is in operation. That will make police to be very professional. And we'll have evidence against police people. When we do that, when police works well in the country, police is number one, the environment for investment gets better. Everybody wants to come in a secure country and invest. Tourists will come. Money will come to Liberia. Then I talk about 4 major things: education, health, road, and rice production. And everything I say, I can say how we do it. I say I will fight corruption. I want to have that broom in my hand, passing up and down in Monrovia, that the government will be clean. Anybody who, first thing, I got 12-count prescription for combating corruption. Number one, the president salary and benefit will be on the internet, in the newspapers, and on the radio in simple English. So when the president starts stealing billing for the 7-story building, they will know the president stealing. Because they know the president's salary and benefit. We'll do it for the people to know so that there can be public trust in the government. Government without public trust is nothing. Government can be everywhere. Then you say if the minister's president's salary will be, then our minister's salary will not be there, Chief Justice, then Speaker, all of them, their salary will be there, because Article 15 of the Constitution says, Article 15C says, the people of Liberia have a right to know about their government, everything about the government. And it is established, and its functionaries. The president is a functionary, Chief Justice is a functionary, a speaker is a functionary. The people of Liberia pay their salaries. The people have a right to know, and they have an obligation to let the public know. We'll do that, because when I appoint you minister and you live in Dole community and people know your salary, oh yeah, I can read 50,000, and you start bidding 500,000 hours, all the train in Dole community will be on the radio. Then George stealing, Minister George Weah is stealing. Look at the man, oh yeah, salary can read.
Also, actually, is Boaka that interview. Josh is my tech guy, so
sorry, Boaka Kamara. That Boaka is stealing. Then myself, I'll call you. The president said, Boaka, they say you believe for and you start scratching your head. And the president, I'll fire you and send you to the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission. You'll be investigated. When you're sent to court, you're prosecuted. When you're found guilty, you'll go to jail for 5 to 10 years. Then we'll confiscate through the legal process the balance of the money and all the assets that you acquire. Houses you build, cars, everything you bought, we'll take them from your turn over the government. And normally, when I go all right over the country, when I say, your thing, if 5 ministers are in jail for 10 years each, and all their property, their money and properties are taken, and their family members suffering, and a minister in government want to steal again, they can say no. They say no. I say anybody who want to come in the government just to steal, they want to work in my government, they say no. So I said, then we'll finish sweeping corruption. That's what this broom is about. They can be happy to say, hey, Because somebody going to government after 2 months, you see them just to get money machine. So we'll do that. Then we say, so the how will fight corruption. You go to check your account. That's why I have my when you see my sticker in Monrovia, my sticker on anti-corruption sticker. Government is a place to serve, not to steal. We have to get rid of that menace. And the ambassador spoke about that too, which is true. Look, you mentioned Abacha. Let's talk about him a little bit. He represents the government. He's from Grand Crew, from southeastern Liberia. Last year, the president pro tempore of the American Senate earned a total salary of $193,000. That's the richest country on earth. That same last year, the president pro tem Abacha made $254,000. Do the math. Over $60,000 more than the president pro tem of the United States. You think the American people know that we are spending our money like that? There were a lot of government to give our money for our health, for our education, for our growth, for other things. So they are wicked. This is clear wickedness. You know, why should any government official in Liberia make higher than any government official in the United States holding the same position? It just doesn't make sense to me. We are a begging nation. We are among the poorest countries on earth. It's just so, not that we don't have the money, but they do waste it. The government choose to waste it on few people. And you see, that is where the problem is. The speaker last year, Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States made $223,000 because his salary should be higher than the president pro tem. Our own made $245,000, more than $20,000 higher than the Speaker of the United States. That the one I know. I know about the minister's salary, the president's salary. So it means that the money in the country, they are taking it for themselves and not providing services for the people. It's deliberate and not accident. It's not a condition of the country. It's the decision that they make. And with that kind of decision, they want us to put them in power again? No. Let them go. And when I become president, we'll set a commission inquiry to look into all these things because they have to be held accountable. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm an advocate. They will not go free.
Let's look at the economy. You once talk about the exchange rate on the market. You raised an eyebrow on that. Tell a little bit about the economic and what.
Let me tell you, in fact,
from Councillor Gongloe.
You know what I intend to do. Let me, in addition to I have a degree in economics and I taught economics at University of Liberia. When you dump money on the market, we are not exporting much out of Liberia besides rubber and iron ore and the diamond and gold. Some of them even going through all kinds of illegal means out of the country. Government is not generating so much foreign exchange, US dollars, British pound, all that to come to our country. So now they printed billions of Liberian dollars and look at the guys stock in their homes. They are dumping it on the market during this election time. When they dump so much Liberian dollars on the market, and the importers need US dollar to import from China and other countries, then they go on the market to buy US dollars. So you have plenty Liberian dollar chasing few US dollars. The price of US dollar will go up. So in a short time, from 150 now, before I left Monrovia, it was 169. I'm hearing it's 170. That's the exchange rate, is the buying rate for importers now. Before I left Monrovia, one of my clients bought US dollar at a rate of $176. So if a man buys US, $1 for 176 Liberian dollars, when he imports goods, he will transfer the burden to us by increasing the price of the goods so that he can make profit. That means the people are making us to suffer more. Instead of helping us to get out of poverty, they're making more Liberians to be poor daily. They are multiplying poverty by every action they take. The other way they multiply poverty is they buy road condition. Imagine, Kamara, you are in Webo and you got planting farm to take care of you and your children. The planting they get full. You harvest your planting. You charter one truck and say, I'm going to be able to make $5,000 US from my planting, for example. And then you borrow money from one Fulani man, tell the businessman, say, look, give me money to charter truck. I'll pay your money next week because I've already made my connection at Gubachop. When you get to that mud I talk about, that I spent 8 hours on, your truck will be packed there like the other trucks for 10 days. Then the planting will get rotten. And then what will happen to you now? You finish paying for the truck, you're not getting any money, you come back to Weah or to Bewan in Grand Cru. You know, Weah is in River G. Then the person who credited the money to you will say, bring my money. And he said, oh, I beg you, give me chance. My planting guy writing the road by, he said, road by, I'm my business, that government. Give my money. I want to put my money in Susu. Then you go credit money, or even all your money you got, you give it. You might even sell some of your property. Then you are getting even poorer because of the buy road condition. So they are making us poor by buy road. Then the little money you have, they're dumping Liberian dollar on the market, carrying prices up. So people are going to suffer more. I can tell you the price of cobalt is now $400 in Monroe, or it's going to go to $500 to $600. How many people can afford that? It's terrible. They're not doing anything good, you know, to make us feel good. The purpose of government is to make people feel good, to protect us, to seek our welfare, and make us happy. You know, because a hungry man is an angry man. That's why all the crimes are taking place in our country, because naked joke, people going on fighting, taking knife for each other. People get up in the morning, they're angry. I mean, they're angry because they're hungry.
Okay.
You know, you put in sports park and all that, the children don't eat, how they will go play. And the parents have to feed them. Then you bring in all this hardship. It's terrible. No, and I've done nothing for the people to really read like them. No. They can't fool us the second time. First food before.
So that's the voice of Councillor Tiawon say Gongloe. He said I should put that thing in the middle, or else I will be in content.
You can have Tiawon, Gongloe, the second born. That second born, the first born. First son.
Okay, so we are having an exclusive interview with him, and you listen to all of what he's been saying. Let's now transition to the issue about the opposition.
Let me say a little bit about the economy. Small, just 1 minute. Look,
okay.
I have an economic plan to create jobs. When I take over power, I will give incentives to people who have money to invest in Liberia, especially people who want to build factory to add value, so that because that's why we encourage to add value. That instead of exporting logs, to make chairs in our country, furniture in our country. So I say every 50 miles away from Monrovia, I'll drop your corporate the tax you pay the government. So when you go 100 miles, you pay less than 50. You go 200 miles, that will put jobs in the interior, in Maryland, in Grand Cru, in Vajama, in Tapata, all the places. And those people will employ people. When the companies employ people, even in building a factory, they'll be employing people. Those people, government will be getting payroll tax. That kind of investment, people will get money, government will get money, because government tax base will be increased. And then they'll be getting payroll tax from the people. Then people will be paying rent to the house owners in the areas where they are working, like Bagleyville or Harper. They call in economics multiplier effect. The people who are getting money, the house owner too will go to the market to buy. Then money circulating in the local economy. The good thing about another advantage of having a job all over the country is that all the young fellows will not be coming to Monrovia to see greener pastures. Everything is concentrated in Monrovia. When they come there now, they spend 2-3 months, no job, they're frustrated. Then their friend say, my man, let's go somewhere so you can feel good. They take them to the ghetto. Once they get addicted to drug, the next thing they get into into the criminal habit of engaging in armed robbery, jacking women bag, and all of that, to the extent that Monrovia now, there's a virtual curfew. After 9 o'clock, you don't find anybody in the street. So the nightclubs and all the night activity, the night economy has gone down. I intend to change that because there's a close relationship between an improved economy and crime rate.
Okay, so let's now transition to the issue about the opposition. Councillor Gongloe, a son of Nimba County, was selected by Ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai to serve as his running mate. He's from Nimba. You are from Nimba. Does that in any way put a gap into your election as president of Liberia? Because obtaining a vote in Nimba County is one thing, and a divided vote in Nimba County is another thing. What do you make of the selection of Jeremiah Kun as the running mate to Joseph Boakai?
I'm not a member of United Party or part of the coalition. That's their judgment. But what I can tell you is that it is not going to do anything to my support base called Nimba County because they have had polls on it. In fact, when I went to Nimba, I was threatened. You go to Monterey, you be vice president, anybody don't come here. I was threatening Kanwi, I was threatening Butu, I was threatening many places. You see, this time Nimba wants a head. We are tired of being laddered for people to climb on to go to power when we have the power here in terms of population, the voting population. They said we have had a tail twice. People should not forget, we had Dogole, Dogole Honor Taylor, vice president. We also had Moses Blah, vice president. So we have vice president 2 times, and Nimba knew the experience they had during that period. To be a vice president, like you're standing behind the house, somebody's house to go back. Until the president permits you, you can't go. They want to be part of the decision making at the top. That is the unanimous view of Liberians, Nimbayans who live in America, Nimbayans who live in Liberia, Nimbayans who live just not only in Nimba, but all over Liberia, because I saw Nimbayans in Babulo, I saw them in Kipma, I saw them in Grand Jide. In fact, they came to receive me in the Ghana Nimba Quadro. I saw them in River Chief, Sino, Grand Crew. In fact, as a general coordinator of my campaign for Nimba Quadro in our sub-region, I saw them in River Says, I saw them in Grand Bassa, Bon, everywhere. Lofa. I had a meeting with the Nimba Quadro board in Lofa at the hotel I slept in. All of them unanimously say, Nimba by Yawu. Nimba on the time has reached. That's in Gil.
When you say Nimba town have reached, Prince Johnson is preaching different message. He's from Nimba County, and people refer to him as the godfather of Nimba County. And he's saying that Jeremiah Kungori as the running mate to Joseph Boakai, it was based on the request by the Nimbanian. So now you coming again saying that the Nimbanian are telling you that we don't want somebody going as still, but we want a head. So there are two different things here. What do you make of for the statement from Prince Johnson saying that they should support a JMB ticket, and Councillor Gongloe saying that the Nimbanians are asking him to go as the head? They don't want a tail again.
Don't forget that in 1985, the Nimba people unanimously voted for Jackson Hebdo. Nimba, the history has shown that every time a son of Nimba runs for the presidency, he gets majority of the votes in Nimba. That is statistical fact as historical. You can go and check it. So that is just the fact. And now they have said, we want the head, we don't want the tail. They have had opinion polls on it all over Nimba. They want it. And they look at me like Jackson Hebdo, given my experience and age and all of that. That look, Jackson Hebdo was minister. He served in the Senate, he was minister. He has so much experience. People knew his views on Liberian political issues. My views are known. My views have been known for more than 40 years of my life as a student activist, as a human rights advocate, as a human rights lawyer, as president of the bar. All of these have made people to know who I am. And the Liberians are very proud of my achievement in all of the positions. Even they know, when I resigned from President Salif's government, it's not normal for people to resign. I resigned because of my principles. I love the Liberian people more than I love myself. That's why I'm taking risks to go to difficult places. I repeated this statement recently in Pakwai Town. River Says County is a place upriver on the Cesta River, that is long, like from Brewerville to Carisburg on the river in the Kino. I got in, the woman asked me, and the woman said, do you know this is the home of President Weah's late mother Annie? But he had never been here because he's scared to come here. Why made you brave to come here? People say they need you in the river. I said, oh man, I want to be president for all Liberians. The ones living in Monrovia, the ones living in Cecil City, and the ones living across the river. And there's no risk too big for me to take for that.
Mm.
I'm prepared to take all risks for Liberia. And Liberian people know that. The Nimbayans know that. Look, when they jail Nimbayans for something that happened in Metal Steel, I went to Buchanan, they transferred the kid to Buchanan. I went and represented free of charge. The older Nimbayans know that when I was at the University of Liberia, I was president of the Nimba University's university students in 1980 during the coup. My mark is there. They've known I've served in public service with distinction to their liking and honor. So I'm not a new person. They know me. And they have told me they are going to vote for me. I have no reason to judge them otherwise. Frankly, with all due respect to Senator Johnson, only God knew after the war. Some of us went to Nimba. He doesn't have the history I have. I started kindergarten in Ganta. I continued to Tapata. From Tapata, I went to San Nicolas. I went to Maryland School. So, I grew up. I got childhood friends, schoolmates in Nimba who know me. I'm well known in Nimba. But I'm not. I'm well known.
You doesn't consider.
I was known. Let me tell you now. I was known in Nimba as a third year, as a university student, when the young man you talk about was born. So we know the problems, how to solve it, how to solve the problems. I've been there, and I have experience in running the executive branch of government. The head of the executive branch of government is the president. And I've had several positions in the executive branch of government during my 9 years of service in government. We can't buy picking a bag. We have to make sure that we get people who know the job. You see, their job here gave Topper a hard time. It gave Topper a hard time. It gave Cllr a hard time. It gave Ellen a hard time. These people serve in government, and their views were even known before becoming president. So when I take chances this time, because the international community is looking at us, they're tired giving us aid, and we have so much resources in the country, we should actually be a donor country. It will managing our country well. If I really want Liberia to be a sweet land of liberty for all Liberians, so that people can be running away from there, be subject of human trafficking, traveling all over the world. Liberia is a country that it will manage. Like, we even have migrant workers in our country, and Liberians will be living so well. It is possible. I see the vision, and it's all line up with my 10-point agenda for better Liberia.
Yeah, for a better Liberia, how soon do we expect Councillor Gongloe to name his running mate? Because we are a few months away to election, and others are doing same. How
All
soon
right.
and which county should we expect said person from?
I will not tell you because I want it to be a surprise. It has to be a surprise to you. Yeah. I will not tell you the gender. I will not tell you where the person is coming from. The person will be a Liberian and is qualified, So don't worry about that.
Will that person have the same character as Councillor Gongloe?
Oh, of course. No two persons are the same. One of my friends asked me one time. Yeah. For example, I will certainly have to be a person who knows Liberia. It has to be a person who is afraid of corruption and is an honest person. It has to be a person who is hardworking. Like me, I used to go to work. I used to be the first to go to the labor ministry and the last to leave. I just love work. All right. So I want a committed person, somebody who loves Liberia, who has the burning desire to make Liberia not a begging nation, to make Liberia one of the contributing nations of the earth, because we have the natural capacity to do so. I want a visionary like me, because if something happens and I fall, Liberia should not be insulting me while I'm going and say, why the man brought the kind of trouble on us? So yes, but no two persons can be the same. Like, for example, I can eat roasted cassava and be happy, drink water and be happy. I eat roasted plantain and be happy, especially I have red one. And when you put dry rice and Benesi before me with red on, I'm way up there. Some people are not like that. So, but we have to get the character set of the person will be close to mine or even better than mine.
All right. So, Council, we'll have to interact now with the public. A lot of people are listening and following the show. We'll open the phone lines on 0770 102 102 86 010383 555 102 102. The WhatsApp number is +231 888 624171. Those in the diaspora, once again, the WhatsApp number is +231 888 624171. Councillor Tiawon Se Gongloe and Boakai Amara Kamara, we are pretty seated here, and it's a live interview here with him this morning. Let's go to the phone line and take our first caller this morning on the line. Good morning. Go directly to the point. We'll take 30 seconds per person. Good morning.
So, Gongalow, I say to you, it's over.
Hey, to
Yeah, Mark, good morning. Welcome. Jawate.
Okay, please extend my greetings to Councillor Gongalow. I have two questions for him.
Two questions, okay?
Councillor Gongalow, how are you?
I'm fine. Is that question number one?
Yeah, thank you. That's your next speaking, Mark Jawate. And Councillor Gongalow, I've been monitoring you from the 80s and up to this time. You are a man with decent character. But I have one point with you that I'm not happy with you. And since 2 years or 1 year ago, I'm not too happy with you. This has to do with the Nimba County land issue. When I first came and I Chief Justice, you wrote a press release condemning me. But you did not advocate for our people land issue in Nimba County. Even this man, the court, and First Wife and Jeremiah Cole, we could not instead of our people lands. And you, as a claimant, I respect that you work with Hassan Benete. I respect you for that. And I have great respect for you. And you are not advocating. You just silent on the issue. It's not because you don't find interest in our tribal community, and that's why you keep me.
Yeah, the second one, let go. You talk about the land issue, the second one quickly.
The second one, and how can we and what is the view of Jeremiah Cole? Is alleged that he voiced on dubious in Nimba County. If it is true, and why is the view about Jeremiah Cole?
No, Mark, we can't go into the main personal life.
No.
Sorry, that question, it can be answered by the council. That's left with Jeremiah Cole. Let's take this person here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome. Your name is joining us from.
My name is Mr. Shah. I'm calling from Iowa. I've been watching Councillor Gungalow, and I want to make a comment. Am I live?
Yeah, you are live. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Jeremiah. I'm calling from Iowa, and I really admire Councillor Gungalow. I'm from Grandia. I've been in the United States for 30 years, and Councillor Gungalow did something that he did for a Grandian, and I was so proud. He represented those groups, those guys who were incarcerated by the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration. He represented them. That alone stood out. Besides, Councillor Gungalow, he has traveled everywhere in Grandia. He knows almost every town. He named my town. That impressed me. Basically, there is nothing between the Nimbayans and Grandians. The war has gone, but Councillor Gungalow has stood as an example of someone who cares nothing about tribalism, about who he is. He just wants to be the one for everyone.
All right, so
and Councillor Gungalow, you got my vote.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in from
Thank
Iowa.
you.
Next person. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Kamara.
Yeah.
Let me say good morning to the landed councillor.
Welcome.
Yes, I say and I joined the conversation from the most successful district in Mosovalo County, district number 40. Well, let me appreciate the councillor for your splendid deliberation on the show this morning. I have two questions for Councillor Gongloe. One would be that, Mr. Gongloe, I've been listening to you on numerous platforms speaking about visiting over 100+ towns and villages within the rural part of Liberia. How does it benefit the ordinary people that you have claimed that you have visited? 2, Mr. Gongloe, you talk about Southeastern Road too much. Since 1847, that road has been the way it is. What are your plans to mitigate these challenges that our people face with? And where are you going to take money from to build these roads within the southeastern part of Liberia? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. The Southeastern Road, what are your plans like for it? 0770-102-102-86-010283. Okay, we messed up on our caller. Let's take somebody from the diaspora. Good morning.
Good morning, Boaka. Good morning, Councillor Gongalow. My name is James Rato Jr. and I'm calling from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Councillor, given to the fact that Liberians are going through urgent poverty due to bad governance, I see you are boom most of the time. And that's a good thing because corruption is systemic, it's embedded into the system. But I want to ask you this question because in one of the articles you said, you talk about naming and shaming. What would you do if you are elected as Liberian, or I know you are the Senate Bureau for Liberian People Party? What would you do if you were elected like, for example, nepotism, then tribalistic tendencies? Because if you employ your sister and you talk about naming and shaming, what would you do if that person is your relative or the person is a minor or you? And the second question is, I think you serve as a Solicitor General in one of the government, and then for some reason you disagree with the government because of some policy, and they don't want to actually listen to you. You resign. I just want you to explain because that shows to all that you are incorruptible and you are a straightforward man. So can you please explain to the public? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now take this person from this angle here. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, but I'm not on the radio yet.
No, but don't listen to the receiver. Listen to me through your phone. There's a little delay with the radio. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, go ahead. Just listen to me through the phone. You are live on the show.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello. I'm not on the radio yet. No, but
Oh, okay. Sorry. You have to listen to me through your cell phone, not the receiver, please. If you call, you listen to the receiver. There's a little delay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yep, your name is joining us from.
Okay, my name is Ovidayo Jeble, Commander in AB Dowds, non-picking, and calling from South Korea. Okay, let me say good morning to the studio girl.
Morning.
Okay, I listened to a deliberation, and Councillor Gongloe is a very good man. He's the son of Nimba County. Myself, I'm a Nimba from Nimba County. But I have a problem when I listen to him, the economic theory that you're giving, that he will prioritize people that want to build factory, like for instance, if you want to build, like you want to take furniture, he will prioritize you manufacturing the furniture or fixing the furniture in Liberia, then exporting the wood. So my problem that I have is that, like for instance, if you are manufacturing furniture in Liberia, and looking at our country is poor, the economic condition there, more people are poor. Where I live, a furniture, let's say a bed or furniture, is very costly. So people who will come and create job or be cutting the wood, they will let us SOA in order to manufacture in different countries because they will sell it at good price. But if you say you want to manufacture furniture, who are those people going to buy? Taking into consideration our economic status in our country, who are the people going to buy?
Thank you so much. So, Council will answer the first questions that they asked. One from they say the Nimba land issue. What be your position?
Let me. I think I understand that. The one I don't understand, I'll let you know.
Okay.
If I don't get it, let me proceed to make time. Look, on the Nimba land issue, He's probably not followed well. There was a time a few years ago, it was 2013 or 14, somewhere down there, the Madingos from Ganta had a big program in Ganta about that land issue. I was the keynote speaker. And I was very clear on the issue. I say, the thing is being politicized. If people follow the law, they will solve that problem easily. I was there. He probably was not part of that program. When he said, somebody, in fact, let me put it this way. There's a lawyer from my office who is involved at the ECOWAS court on that land issue in Abuja. His name is Dauda Keita. And he works in my law office. But I would disagree with Jabata today and tomorrow if he says what he said before. He said you were going to kill a chief justice. That time, I was president of the bar. Even without being president of the bar, I would never countenance anyone taking the law into his own hand to do something. You got to go by the law. You cannot threaten to kill someone. Even if not a chief justice, it can be a farmer. It is just wrong. And I said, I condemn him for that. And I will condemn him today even he thinks that position is wrong. Yeah? So that's where our disagreement came. Somebody talk about me going around. Look, I went around the country. My brother from Grand Jide, that's true. I went all over. And let me also say, part of the work of any Liberian leader coming for the next 50 years is to reconcile the country and to keep it united. Now, when I went around the country, I deliberately went to some towns that I said I will not leave the country until I went to those towns, because there are towns in Nimba that have great sons who are no more, and their towns are being forgotten. So as someone wanting to be president, I wanted to elevated their story, their spirit. For example, I went to Gongloe. In Nimba County, Gongloe is the home of the late Jackson F. Doe. I call Gongloe a political shrine of Nimba because that's the place where the first son of Nimba came from and wanted to run for presidency, and the whole of Nimba voted for him. I also went to Zozwale and slept there. Zozwale is in the Zor area near in Belige area, and it is the home of the late Thomas Kuompa. Thomas Kuompa was commanding general, a member of the PRC, and he was killed when he attempted to carry on coup d'etat in Liberia. That time has been virtually forgotten. I went there, I slept there, and it was so happy that I lifted up their spirit. I went to Tuzon. Listen to this one. As a Nimba man from Nimba, participating in the election as a presidential aspirant, I went to Zwedru, to Tuzon. A lot of people will have been afraid. I went to Tuzon in the night. The people say sleep here. I say I will sleep here. Just because I agree, I was sleeping in a former sleeping place. They danced the whole night. I think I slept with the 7 million lodgement. They danced the whole night. They fed my people food left over. In Sino, I went to Pinestown. Pinestown is the home of the late Thomas Wessian, who was vice head of state to Samuel Doe. I went that time, the people danced. They said, thank God. I did it deliberately to unite our country and to reconcile the people. So I went all those areas. Somebody said, oh, why should I blame this government? Because in 1847, the road has been bad. Well, let me tell him that in 1847, there was no road on our side. It was a son of Southeastern Liberia, William V. S. Tubman, who was elected president in 1943 and was inaugurated in January 1944. And he said he would go to Kipamos through the road, and he came through Keversburg, through Kakata, through Palala, and went through straight, passed through Tapeta, and he took 2 or 3 months on the road or carrying a hammer until he reached Kipamos. Then after that, he said, the next time I come to Kipamos, I will come by motor vehicle. So from 1944, he started building the road in the interior. And in less than 10 years, with the help of the American government through the U.S. Army, He built the road. He was the first person to build a road through the country from Carisburg all the way to Maryland. Now, that road, over the years, people have been trying to pave it. Topper paved the road from Topper paved the road up to Totota, and then Topper paved the road from Totota to Ganta. During the war, that road got damaged. President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf rehabilitated the road from Coca-Cola factory all the way to Ganta. So people have been doing something about it. In the first term, as Topman did, this government in the first term had done virtually nothing. The only thing they tried to do was to do that road from Ganta to Saglepe, and they didn't even pay the Chinese people to pack their things and left the road. So this government has failed miserably, and there's no way to apologize for it. They just have to pack their load and leave so that those who are serious about developing the country can do it. I promise people, let me make a promise. I've said it many times, and I've told my wife, I will not build one kitchen when I become president. Everything will be built by Liberian people. I want to be a president that will create millionaires outside government, not millionaires inside government to be showing their wealth. That is a promise. So that changing the Liberian story, wealthy people will be outside. And what do I do? What will I do? My government will purchase more from Liberians, will give more contracts to Liberians than other people. Liberians have to feel that this is their country. They have to be given preferential treatment. America does it. Ghana does it. Nigeria, all these countries do it. So we must do it. Liberians must feel, that this is their country over other people. Today, they are giving more IPDs to non-Liberians than they are giving to Liberians at the Commerce Ministry. What's that? Why Liberians should sit on the side? In Liberia, construction companies, they will give construction contracts to foreign companies. Then Liberian companies that really know the job, they give them subcontract to really do the job, and the foreign companies make the money. We have to change that story.
Somebody talk about nepotism and what we say about that.
Nepotism. I'm not going to be like other people. I say everything that I say are things that I will do and are things that I've done before. I'm not going to run it from the government. No. I'm not going to run it from the government. You get referred to say tribe. It doesn't mean that when somebody is qualified in Nimba, Yumano, or you will not get a job. No. Nepotism goes to family. Will not. In fact, I will implement Section 10.2 of the Executive Law of Liberia that was enacted in 1973 that says that as much as practicable, the president of Liberia shall appoint one cabinet minister from each of the counties. There is no way that you can implement that law and be one-sided with tribe or region. That law is not being implemented right now.
Okay, we take 5 more calls, then a counselor come and we'll wrap it up on the 5 calls, 0770. There are a lot of calls coming in, but we'll just take 5. Then the counselor will conclude on that, then he can give us his parting comment because we've been here for a little longer time now. 0770 102 102. Those in the diaspora can call on the WhatsApp number +231 888 624171. 5 calls, 30 seconds per quarter. Go strictly to the point. Good morning.
Good morning, Councillor Gungalow.
Good morning. Welcome.
Hello. Morning.
Yeah.
Yes, nice to meet you, Councillor. My name is Sam. I'm calling from the UK. I've got 2 questions for the Councillor. The first one is that will he be willing to declare his assets along with the other aspirant president like Mr. Cummings, Walker, and George Weah publicly? The second one is that with the War Crime Court, they've been politicizing this thing from Ellen Sally instead of endorsing the War Crime Court. She brought in TRC. Now, can he allow the Liberian people to have a referendum of the War Crime Court instead of those politicians playing games with people's lives?
Okay.
Those are the 2 questions.
Thank you so much for your 2 questions. Let's come back home and take somebody from here. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Walker. And good morning to our father in studio, the Councillor Gongloe. Yeah, I wanted to bring something to your attention. I don't really know. But I don't see you really talking much about the incident that took place in the 2015 by the same government that even though he resigned at that time. It was at the time that he was in power. But with our properties that were damaged in 2015, I don't really hear him saying anything about it. I think for the kind of a person he are in stay for the truth. You know, one day hear him talking about it, or to even advocate for we that were getting married in that process. Our property was damaged to our building or giving all the same. And up to now, the CDC level government that came to power, they have not even still doing anything.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's take caller number 3 on this line 0770 102. Okay, let's take this person here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name is Johnny.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm joining you from Fargo, North Dakota. My name is Teddy Lion Yankon.
Okay, go ahead.
Am I secure?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. Yeah. I did have a few questions for Councilor Gongloe.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting me clearly, sir?
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Councilor Gongloe emphasized strongly on job creations and the well-being of Liberians, having jobs. But the question is that Councilor Gongloe spearheaded labor ministry before. And as I learned, had a very bad deal with the Firestone labor law or other labor issues. So from there, if Councilor Gongloe would have, done well with the labor ministry, then this time around, I think I can strongly believe what he's saying.
Okay, so
my second
hello?
question is...
Hello?
Hello?
Were you working there at that time?
If I was not working there, but we got a lot of information. You don't have to be working the place before you know about what this person has done to certain ministry.
Go ahead.
My second question is that Councilor Gongloe talks about this integrity, and Liberians have been running with the integrity issue about Councilor Gongloe. But Councilor Gongloe was a speech writer for Amos Sawyer. And Amos Sawyer was one of the kind of unscrupulous person that been in our body politics. Why Councilor Gongloe never persuaded him to write a better speech, or these unscrupulous and things Sawyer did? Why Councilor Gongloe never persuade him to write a better speech for the Liberian people?
Thank you so much.
I don't see. And secondly, he's a public defender. So what he has done for the Nigerian people, every country that in America, if you don't have a lawyer, a public defender, or country government always have a public defender to defend
thank you
people.
so much. We take somebody from back home here. The council is taking down, he's jotting down the points. He will respond to the questions. Good morning.
Good morning, Baka. Let me say good morning to Honorable Gongloe. This is DJ Lumet. Honorable Gongloe, only one question I have for you. If at all you go to the election and do win, will you be willing to support the opposition against the present ruling party? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We take 2 more calls. This person on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Councilor Gongloe. My name is Kelvin B. Bland, CGA.
Hello, Kelvin. Kelvin?
Yeah.
Your phone is grinding. Okay, go ahead now. We get you now. Go ahead.
Okay, now I want to ask the question. Question go to the honorable. I want to know what he has done for the people of Nimba. Or why is the Nimba that he has in Nimba that will motivate the Liberians to vote as his son to become the leader of this nation?
Okay, thank you. We take our last caller from this line. What have you done for the people of Nimba? This is our last caller here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, your name is joining us from?
Yeah, I'm Steven L. calling from District 12, Chicken Papier Bell.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the platform. I have 2 questions for Councilor. Our first question has to do with a party falling here alone. To me, you don't think that
hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you say your first question have to do with what?
The first time has to do with the party he formed. The party you know that he won't go nowhere. Why couldn't he merge together with UP so at least we can throw the devil in this country for us? Second question has to do with this nation. They are our counselors. We see from them. But if they teach us better, definitely our children go to lose. Why they are doing this the bad to the nation? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
I didn't get a second question.
Yeah, I was a question was not too clear, but we'll take somebody in place of him so we can see. Yeah, because your two questions, even though the council got the first one, but the second one. So in place of you, we'll take one more last caller. Let's take this person as your replacement. Oh, we mess up on our caller. So we take the person directly from this line here. Let's see. Okay, let's take this person here. Good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Yeah, your name is joining us from?
This is Jimmy Slomo. I'm calling from New Jersey, Gulf.
Yeah, make it snappy, brother.
Yeah. The Councilor Gongloe has put some very interesting points, even though it's not my candidate, but he has done some very good points. You see, the government of President Weah, him thinking that the presidency was about sowing purple suit to match his 47 condominium or private jet almost 2 years, or carry on wasteful spending like buying cell phone, $5,000 US cell phone from Miss Earth, Miss Liberia, and so on. As a result, they want to win election again. They are jammed now. They cannot do the restful thing. So he's right. We need to vote this government out, even though Councilor Gongloe is not a candidate, but he has spoken here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Council, the few questions that you have, you can respond to them. Then we wrap it up here.
So, I think the last statement, speaker just made comment, right? What did?
Yeah, comment, just comment.
Yeah, right. That is true. All right. But let me say that presidency is about seeking the welfare of the people, protecting their security, seeking their welfare, and standing up for them. And those of the aspirants who have spoken against the ills that affected Liberian people, not necessarily themselves, are spoken up for the Liberian people, even with great risks to their life and risks to their opportunities, are the true leaders. And I can say without any fear of doubt that there is no one in this presidential race that can compare with my life history in terms of standing up for the Liberian people, to the extent that I've gone to jail for some of that, because it's risky to stand up for the Liberian people under repressive government. Some have decided to go along so that they can be physically touched or so they can lose opportunity. Opportunism can never be an aspect of good leadership. A leader must be prepared to die even for the people that he leads. So convenience of opportunity is not a good mark of leadership. Right now, people can speak against, there are some people who are speaking against George Weah government now, who never spoke against any other government before. I think that their action is opportunistic, because they are only attacking George Weah because they want to be president. But me, I have been critical of many governments, even as young as I was at the university, Trouble government, Doe government, all these governments. Now, someone came to say that, wow, writing speeches on, that person has been in Liberia in America maybe for a long time. To write speeches for someone, what? I mean, I was speech writer for him, that's true. I used to be an executive assistant, travel with him to the peace talks and all that. What wrong did I do? And he did not point out anything wrong that he says Sawyer did that I cooperated in doing. So, and again, let's not talk about the dead man. Sawyer has gone with his trouble. May peace be to his ashes. Let it be. DJ, okay, somebody said, what have you done for the Nimba people? If this president, he says it's from Nimba, but don't give me conditions that you did not give to Prince Johnson before you voted for him 2 times. You voted for him 2 times. He came number 3, he came number 4. And he had done nothing physical for Nimba. If you talk about him, man, nothing. All right. Then Jackson F. Doe, we voted for him. There was nothing that he did personally for Nimba. We voted for Taylor. There was nothing that Taylor did in Nimba, but he got almost 100% of the votes for Nimba. We voted for President Selly. We voted for Weah. So you did not give them these conditions. It is unfair for you to give me conditions that you did not give to other people. But let me say that even having a mark in Nimba is not a condition for Nimbayans to vote for you. Because Dr. Weah built 2 hospitals in the Zoga area. On top of that, he came to Monrovia and built a school. Still, when he wanted to be senator, Nimba voted against him. He wanted to be representative, Nimba voted against him. So doing something on the ground or even doing things for people is not a condition. Leadership is about the policies you have, the commitment you have, what you can do for the people, and not being selfish. Now, let me say, I built the biggest library you can think of in Nimba in my hometown in Gungalow. I used 50 bundles of zinc to build I call it Educational Resource Center. It takes 500 people in the auditorium and about 50 persons in the library. But that's not what I pride myself for. I pride myself for being a lawyer for the poor people in this country, including Nimbayans and Nimbayans all over the country. Even now, sometimes when they get in trouble in Insano or any other country, they say, oh, we're coming to call Council Gongloe. And the problem gets solved. They call me, I advise them. That's what I consider as an asset. You know, one time I paid over 16 students tuition at Nimba University in San College. But I don't really consider those things. For you to be naming, I have a lot of students, both Nimbayan, Liberians, you know, I've made my own contribution. So, you know, people always ask that question, but that's not a mark of leadership. Then somebody talked about Ministry of Labor. That DJ Lumet say whether I will support any of the other opposition candidates if I don't lose. Let me say when we reach there, we'll cross the bridge because I know I'll win. So I'm not going to agree that I will not win at this point. But when we reach there, we'll cross the bridge. Liberty, I was at Labor Ministry. Yes, our Labor Ministry. Thank you for the question. I was at Labor Ministry when I got there. In fact, when I got before the Senate, they said, what you do at Labor Ministry? I said, I will emphasize Liberianization policy. I issued regulation number 17 that increased the work permit fee for Liberians from $400 to $1,000 US because at that time, too many non-Liberians were having jobs that Liberians were qualified for to do and Liberians not be employed. So we increased the work permit fee in Liberia. All the employers started reducing their foreign employees. Some of them who had 50 brought it down to 20 and give the job to Liberians. One of them is in Philadelphia, even where I am right now, who benefited from that program. And it is that program that caused today in Monrovia, all the cashiers you see at the supermarkets used to be non-Liberians. Today, they got so Liberian young women as cashiers in the different supermarkets. It was based on regulation number 17. And this government is still benefiting from regulation number 17. The Minister of Labor told me the other day, we're still using the regulation number 17. It was also under my administration that the labor law that is being used now was completed and submitted to the president called a Decent Work Act. The new labor law was finished under my administration and submitted to the president of Liberia, and is the lawmakers made the changes, but it is the law today. If it is not implemented, you can't blame me for it. These are two major things I did at the Ministry of Labor. And those who work at the Ministry of Labor will tell you that my time at the Ministry of Labor was the time for transformation, and I did well there. But that person may not have been in Liberia. Then somebody talk about the Fender land business. I was not in government. The Fender land people have their lawyer, the routine lawyer. I'm a lawyer. They're not me. They came to the one to another lawyer, and then the president came up and has promised them. So let them talk to the president. If that problem is not solved until I become president, we will solve it in a way that everyone will be happy. That's what I can say about that. I don't think there's any more question.
Yeah, no, there are two very important questions. One, to talk about you declaring your asset. And
one, declaration of asset.
Yeah. The second one, your position on the War and Economics Crown Code.
Okay. Certainly, I can be not only declaration of asset. If you listen to me, I said my salary, even my salary and benefit, will be placed on the internet. I will declare my asset before the election. I will also declare my asset before taking the oath of office as president. And when I become president, my salary and benefits and everything will be on the internet. More than that, I will institute what they call lifestyle audit. Every 3 months, quarterly lifestyle audit. The president and everybody who works in the executive branch of government at a higher level will be subjected to lifestyle audit. Lifestyle audit means checking your expenditure and your income, to see what, to justify your expenditure. We'll do that to make sure that we fight corruption. So, and then War Economic Crime Code. You say referendum. Maybe that's another way to do it. And referendum is a good idea so that the whole Liberia can vote on it. I think it's a good idea. But when I was president of we wrote the draft bill for the creation of the War and Economic Crimes Code. It was submitted to the legislature. The legislature has it. Let the voters of Liberia make the War and Economic Crimes Code and a condition for voting for anybody. Then they will get it. Then they will take those who are against it out of the legislature and put those who are for it in the legislature. Good thing is that even the vice presidential pick of Ambassador Weah has now said he supports the War and Economic Crimes Code, and I know when he was in the House of Representatives, he voted against it, but anybody can change. So thank God for his change of mind. He appeared on Spoon Talk and said he supports the creation, the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code. So I'm happy. It means that people, the idea is winning more support among notable people. So that's a good idea. What else?
I think you have exhausted. Yeah, you have exhausted. Also, we part way with you. Your final message to the Liberian people.
One of the things I did not cover is the question of drug addiction in our country. It's in my 10-point agenda. Our country is going down. I travel all over the country, and the people you call Zogos are all over the country. Or they speak that. So we need to, I would really emphasize rehabilitation of the young people who are addicted and affected by drugs. But more than that, we'll make the DA more effective. We'll make them fight people in top level of government. Look, drugs will never leave Liberia if people connected who are highly placed in government are connected to drug trafficking. Few years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, Bo Waterside, the presidential escort vehicle, was caught with drugs in it. One DA man was just brave to say, I will check this car. People say, oh, that presidential escort car because it's written in presidential escort car. If you remember, the police insisted when they opened that car, they saw drugs inside. And we heard nothing more about it. Why should a presidential escort car be carrying drugs? So you see, it's connected way at the top level there. And we will fight it. We'll support the DA and police. Nobody will be threatened. They will fight and end drug trafficking in our country and making Liberia a transit point for drugs going to Europe and America. We'll stop it. That's one of the things that and then we'll rehabilitate them. We'll give them training in carpentry, in masonry, in mechanic job, and all the other things. The last thing I want to say is, George Weah, the CDC keeps saying, y'all give us second chance, even though we did not succeed. Let me say this. George Weah was voted for by the young people because of sports. In fact, football. Football. But under his regime, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Ivory Coast went to the African Cup of Nations. In fact, Gambia, that small country, not only qualified, but went to the quarterfinal. Liberia, headed by a football superstar, failed to qualify because he had done nothing for football in this country. And under his administration, he did not maintain our international sports stadium. It was declared unfit for playing international football to the extent that he had now to rehabilitate it and for the people to come check and say, oh, yeah, we can play there now. So my question to the sedition and those who want President Weah to succeed himself is, if this man cannot succeed in the area of football, do we expect him to succeed in improving our health system, improving our educational system, improving our road network, in feeding us? He cannot succeed. Do we expect him to improve law enforcement so that our country can be attractive to investors and visitors? Do we expect him to improve the judiciary system? Do we expect him to do anything good for Liberia to be elevated as a good country, for Liberia, for poverty to leave Liberia? No, we don't expect him. He built 47-story building for himself, no money in the country. For 3 months now, civil servants are not taking pay, including EPS officers. I mean, what is that? So let him just pack his low yet. Here is a bunch of thieves have taken enough money, let them leave the country so that Liberia can gradually become a sweet land of liberty for all Liberians. A country that Liberians will not want to run away from, a country that Liberians will be running to every year. Gradually, we'll get our country back for new rules in power. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Councillor Tiawon Say Gongloe, been our guest this morning, and we've been here for some while now. It's good that we listen to him. We hope to have him very soon again because his platform have encouraged more people to join him. And I see a lot of people that have been leaning the other way. That now they are saying that they are leaning his way. So that's a better thing about the interview today. So, Councillor, I want to say thank you, and we hope to knock on your door very soon again for another exclusive interview with you.
Anytime you want me tomorrow, I'm here. Anytime I'm here.
Okay, thank you so much, Council. All right, so that's Councillor Tiawon Gongloe there with us this morning on the Costa Show. A very fascinating discussion. Bwakai Amara Kamara is my name. Hope the interview was okay though. Yeah, I hope I did my little best. But join us on Tuesday. Monday is holiday, so we'll not be here. We'll be here on Tuesday. So join in on Tuesday and the team. That's when we'll be back here with another fascinating discussion here on the Costa Morning Show. Up until then, once again, Bwakai Amara Kamara is bye-bye from my end.